Protect your online privacy today at expressvpn.com/inside.
Happy Monday, everybody. The bad news just keeps on coming for Stadia. Yeah.
Wait. You gotta do the full
I haven't
thing.
been on a Monday in a minute. Okay, wait. I just jumped in because I assumed Connor usually does this.
Well, you gotta say, hey everybody, welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Monday.
Gotcha. Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Monday. Happy Monday, everybody.
Okay, it's Monday. If you say so, I believe it.
Yeah, you could tell me it's any year at this point, and I'll just take it just to get some sort of thing switched up. Yeah. But more bad news just keeps on coming for Stadia.
It's been a whole 2 days since we wrote a story about the 6-month trash fire that is Stadia, but this story shows that developers might be abandoning the platform, or at least they really don't consider it to be a priority.
Wait, just now they don't consider it a priority?
I guess maybe, yeah.
I wrote that and now I'm disagreeing with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you might recall that one of the big promises of Stadia is that you can play a game immediately with no downloading. And I did check out a few games when the Pro subscription was free. It is kind of cool to be able to just boot up a game like Destiny 2 without having to download a million updates. I mean, after that, things kind of go downhill. But yeah, the sort of just startup thing is pretty neat.
The actual game part of it, not so much. But
Right.
loading up the menus is awesome.
Exactly.
It's really good.
Yeah, the whole concept around Stadia is that there's no local hardware and all of the computing is done on Google's side with its ultra awesome supercomputers streaming games right to your TV or other devices, right to your brain.
I use it for my Google Glass.
Which is still going strong, just like Stadia.
Once people come around, we're ready. We're just waiting.
I stream my Google Stadia to my Google Glass and then have direct haptic input to my Google pacemaker. That's awesome.
And since there's no need for downloading to your device, in theory, new games should immediately release on Stadia, and then you just fire them up and go. That is the point that Stadia supporters have made.
Yeah, the idea is you just bring them right to Stadia. Like, it should be a pretty easy day one release because you don't have to worry about all the other stuff that you do with console and PC. But it is a theory because, like everything else with Stadia, the reality on the ground, very different. And here's the news. We know that one of the biggest games of the year, or really any year, CyberPunk 2077, not going to release on Stadia at the same day and date that it's coming to other platforms.
Yeah, as you probably know, the highly anticipated game is coming to PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 on September 14th.
Until they delay it again.
That's the current release date.
Not Stadia, though, and even worse, they actually don't even have a release date yet. We actually don't have a release window. Usually we even get a window.
Well, no, there is a window. Because in a press release talking about Cyberpunk's advertising campaign, real hot news there, developer CD Projekt Red said by the end of the year, the game will also make its debut on Google Stadia.
Can you not stop me when I try to spread misinformation, Brian?
Yeah.
What are you, Twitter fact-checking me now?
I don't want fake news, baby.
God damn, I see you wearing that red hat, but I didn't know you were so anti-lamestream media.
No, that's the Cardinals, baby. Apolitical.
Which could mean that it could arrive as late as December? Oof, that's a big window.
Yeah, this is obviously a pretty big blow for Stadia because, like we said, Cyberpunk 2077 is probably the biggest multi-platform game to release this year. If there's a bigger one, I'm sure y'all will remind me in the comments. But if you're a gamer, you've probably been looking forward to this game for a long time.
Yeah, we've been slobbering over trailers and gameplay demos for years now, and it looks like one of those games that's immediately a contender for Game of the Year, and even the best of its generation.
It's already been decided that it's the best game of the generation.
Yeah, it really, there's no shortage of hype around this game.
Yeah, well, CD Projekt Red has also built up a great reputation over the years with the Witcher games, and Cyberpunk 2077 looks like it's pretty ready to carry on that high-quality torch.
And if you're one of the people who are still sticking with Stadia, what's wrong with you? The promise of playing Cyberpunk 2077 on day one might have been a big reason to stick with the service.
But yeah, if you're gonna have to pay a monthly subscription for the honor of paying full price for a game, it might as well be a brand new game that everybody else has to pay $60 for on day one, because when it comes out in December or whenever, they're gonna still charge full price for it.
And this won't surprise you, but over on the Stadia subreddit, the people were none too pleased by the news.
Oh no.
Reddit user Christopher Clay was worried about the wave of negativity that would come with this announcement. Not that, we'd ever be responsible for something like that.
No.
No, we don't do that. We have not done a wave of negativity. We've been negative since day one, so there's no wave here. It's a continuous stream of negativity.
We're not following trends, we're making them.
Clay added, not only is the Cyberpunk Cyberpunk delay acting as fuel for the people that don't see Stadia as a serious platform in the first place. Guilty.
Yep.
It will also remove the entire Stadia can play on release without having to download anything aspect that people used as one of the main arguments. Another user, PDL Hasso, I don't know,
Sure.
called it disappointing, saying, if this game is not at least on the same graphical level as PS5, Xbox Series X, I'm seriously considering leaving. This is the straw that broke PDL Hasso's back.
I was gonna say, I guess we all have different breaking points, don't we?
Yep.
He's like treading water on a sunken. The ship is just all the way underneath. There's sharks circling, and he's like, honestly, this is the last straw.
Yeah, these are all true believers in Stadia. If they're getting this upset, that's a real bad sign, because there are hardcore players who you'd, ideally want to get the word out.
Right, these are the fanboys. I mean, these are the ones who have stuck with you. These are those 5 people who played No Man's Sky all the way through release, hoping for a brighter day.
But this is also a sign that developers, to say the least, don't consider Stadia to be a priority. It's also no secret that Stadia's player base is not great 6 months after it released. The Verge's Tom Warren wrote about his experiences using Stadia and said it kind of feels like a ghost town. He recounted his experience of playing PUBG on Stadia with just bots. No real players. Meanwhile, one of Stadia's biggest games, Destiny 2, has around 1 million daily players across PC, Xbox, and PS4, but only around 10,000 are playing on Google's streaming service. Yeah.
Yikes.
Rough.
Okay, but maybe people just aren't playing multiplayer games on Stadia. Maybe they're just not. What about those great single-player games? Well, when it comes to games like the rhythm game Thumper, not that much better. Ars Technica reported a few months back only 5,500 people had registered a score on the leaderboards for the first stage of the Stadia version of the game. So basically, that's all who played it. Wii U is looking at Stadia like, damn, dude, you got player base issues.
That's probably a big reason why CD Projekt Red isn't worried about Cyberpunk releasing at the same time on Stadia that it does on other platforms. There just aren't the players at this point to make it a priority. It's more of a, we'll get around to it when we get around to it.
Yeah, don't call us, we'll call you.
Developers aren't dumb. If a platform doesn't have the player base, they're not going to develop for it. Just ask the Wii U.
Yeah, it just sort of went into a death spiral.
And conversely, the Switch turned out to be a huge hit, despite being underpowered compared to every other console, but the player numbers are there, so everybody and their brother are rushing to port their games to it. And the games look bad.
It's more like something that a hacker did just to prove they could do it, rather than an actual
You know what, though?
developer.
If you're a kid, you don't have every single console.
Care. Yeah.
You've got one.
If you're a kid, you don't even
Switch.
notice that you're playing in 480p.
Exactly.
There's also signs that industry leaders have had enough of Stadia 2. Recently, Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two, they own Rockstar 2K Games, and they put games like Red Dead 2 on Stadia, but he straight up called Stadia a disappointment, said that Google overpromised on what it could deliver. Obviously, a no duh, but to hear a major CEO say that is
yeah, they're usually very
great.
safe.
They don't speak very candidly all the time.
And to add insult to injury, Cyberpunk is going to be available on launch date on another streaming service, NVIDIA's cloud-based streaming service, GeForce Now.
Oh no.
Yeah, 4 months ago, an NVIDIA staffer wrote, GeForce Now members will be able to grab their copy on Steam and play the game the moment it's available. We're thrilled to work with CD Projekt Red to bring its eagerly anticipated game to GeForce Now.
Yeah, it's like watching your girlfriend break up with you for a less attractive dude who doesn't have a job.
But yeah, I mean, that was 4 months ago. Maybe that's changed, but I haven't found anything. So I'm still going under the assumption that if it's coming out on Steam, yeah, they can just get it on Steam and stream it right over. As far as other new releases, you might be wondering what actually launched day and date. Ars Technica pointed out that since Stadia launched in November, just 11 of the 31 so-called new Stadia releases have been games that launched on the same day on other platforms or exclusives to Stadia. So that's what all that 11 is. The biggest of those new releases so far, Doom Eternal. Safe to say, no disrespect, but that Cyberpunk 2077 would have been an even bigger new release to launch day one on Stadia.
Yeah.
It would have been a nice thing they could have pointed to.
They pointed out that bringing a game to Stadia involves porting it to Google's servers, which are Linux-based, which of course takes time. This could also be a case of CD Projekt Red hedging its bets on Stadia. Maybe they don't think it has much longer to live, and they don't want to waste the money and effort porting it over if it's not going to be around in a few months.
Jade Raymond, if you are looking for work, come on over and join the Inside Gaming team. We're paying, well, Fortnite dollars called?
Come on,
V-Bucks.
Zach, you
Come
know
on, you
exactly
know.
what.
No.
You played
This is a
Fortnite
sign of
every day
progress.
for 2
I
years.
genuinely forgot what it's called. Oh, and we just also noticed that CD Projekt Red this morning pulled down that press release, so maybe they're taking it back, or I don't know, we just don't like all that publicity.
Yeah, I don't know if they were just like, psych, it's not really, but it kind of hit the news this morning. I don't know if they're just like, yeah, we're not going to let you see it anymore. Ooh, but the internet never forgets. I got a screenshot, so psych. Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It is the Weekend Roundup. Guys, let's talk about Google Stadia, aka the dead horse of gaming that we just won't stop beating. So it's no secret, the game streaming service has been kind of a disaster. Not enough people are playing. It's had performance issues, still waiting on many of the features